Well, good morning to you all. Hello, top of the morning. Good day, Struth. It's another day here at Mirador Television. Hope you're all well. My name's Teddie. I'm with you on my own today. No guests with me, so this is today. Today should be the main day of the Wednesday debate, the debut, but unfortunately, owing to local town politicians in Lewis, I have emailed every party last night after several attempts to get hold of people from the main town council parties without any joy whatsoever. So last night I put an email in to all of them whereby I basically said that you've had your chance, despite my polite messages. There's no one been available. The Reform Party said they are working on someone to come onto the debate and do it. So the debate from this week has been moved to next Wednesday, whereby I'll have a couple of panel members from where I live next week, as well as I'll also get one of the leading retailers in Lewis on with me next week. I'm hoping Abigail from Abigail's Drapery along the High Street in Lewis, and possibly as well my friend down at Maggie's off licence, Zoe. I'm hoping to get Zoe onto my broadcast next week. So again, thanks to the politicians, all you people in Lewis vote for when you put these town councillors in, they're nowhere to be seen. So to Green councillors, Labour councillors, Tory councillors, Lib Dems, the champion of the people apparently in Lewis, none of you have got the balls to attend to a live debate. Shame on every one of you councillors. All right, now I am not prepared here at Mirador to put up with that, and nor should you, the voters. So you know what we do? The next town council vote, we get rid of the bloody lot. We get rid of them and tell them to do one, and get some councillors that have got some balls to turn up to debates like this, local debates that matter to everybody that uses the high street, which is, I guess, all of us use our local high streets, maybe not for the main shops, but incidental stuff, craft shops, pottery shops, drapery stores like Abigail. We all use those shops in our locality. Down School Hill in Lewis, we had a lovely little hardware shop. But what did he do? He walked away because he wasn't supported. Now, what I'm asking these councillors is, before they come on here, to have a plan. And what are they doing with the plan to reinvigorate not just Lewis High Street, Firle, Ringmer, all these small high streets, they call them secondary high streets. Let's get somebody on. Let's get a politician worth his salt locally to put his head above the parapet and said, I will attempt to change, reverse the decline. So what would everyone watching this, what would you do? I know what I'd do. For a start off, any new business opening, I would give them the first year free of business rates. That's what I would do to entice them in. If they were young people, I would get them a sponsor, a successful business in the local high street that's been there. The person that's run it has been there. He knows the pitfalls of self-employment. That's what I would do. And that'd be a great place to start, in my opinion. So again, if you coward councillors are chicken, chicken, you lot, just think on, because I've got your number. Anyway, gonna have a quick look at the papers just the last couple of days. I saw this yesterday. The Burnham impersonator, the chaplain. There we go. I don't know if you've seen that, but there it is. It's coming on your screens now. I tell you, that really is a good likeness for Burnham. Really is. You know, apparently she's a chaplain. In fact, she looks more a man than a woman, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, she's calling herself Mandy Burnham on the social media site TikTok. Chaplain Emma Roberts, 54, and the Labour chief, 56, share the same haircut, brows, thick-rimmed specs, and smile. Even her mum reckons they are spitting image. Oh, spitting image. Now, that takes me back to the 90s, where you used to get all the puppets coming on, taking the piss out of Margaret Thatcher, Geoffrey Howe, Neil Kinnock, the Liberal Democrats leader. Fantastic times. There really were. So anyway, we're carrying on through this. Well, we got Glorious Goodwood on this week, of course, on the ITV every day, showing us the best of racing at Goodwood, despite, again, the betting industry being decimated yet again by our big brother government. They want to know how much we earn, how we spend it, our savings. Can we afford to spend it? Can we afford to walk into a betting shop? You know, I worked in the betting industry the last couple of years part-time, which coincided with my self-employment coming to an end before I retired. And you know, there are hard-working kids in these betting shops, and they're young people, again. So you're driving young people out of work as well as disengaging with your punters. That's down to governments. That is down first to the Tories, their last government, and of course this mob that are now in, who are making it even worse for people that use betting shops. Disgusting, disgusting. Soon you won't be able to go into a betting shop, whether you're betting £1, 50p, like myself, because they want to know exactly the ins and outs of our financial dealings. You know, it's absolutely stupid, in my opinion. Absolutely stupid. And will Burnham change it? No, no chance. No chance. He's already said he's not going to mess with their manifesto, God help us. I mean, yeah. PM to get serious on tackling welfare bill. Well, hoo-ha. Every time a new Prime Minister comes in, they give us this old bollocks, don't they, really? Let's be honest, they do. Yeah, I mean, joke. And here we go, 10% death tax, fears a Burnham levy to fund social care. So, again, they're trying to tax people even when they die. And they're succeeding because they got this 400-odd majority. Ridiculous. And all you people that voted Labour, you're mugs, a lot of you. You really are. Then we come to, of course, terror in France and Spain. The fires there. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. No end to the blazes. And just when it calms down in Europe, the fires start to cease, and then next day you get another heat wave coming in. Now, I love heat waves, but in this case, it's difficult because they're now talking about evacuating Bordeaux. It's that close to civilization. And what about all those people that live in the country, rural? Can you imagine it happening here in the British Isles? Amazing, just. And then Burnham again, silent on immigration. And with this immigration, I think whoever's in, I said this before, whoever is in this in setting immigration laws, the fact is we're an island. We've always been an island, and people have always got here via lorries, through our ports, and of course boats, dinghies coming over from France or Belgium. There were some from Belgium last month coming over. Again, all this sort of, this is amazing, this stuff. That how do you actually stop people coming, getting access to your island? Yeah, you send them back. Like Labour are bragging that the people coming in this year are down, and that's down to their preventive measures. But just maybe you're getting less and less interest in France and Belgium. Hence, that's why these boats started coming over from Belgium last month, because all of a sudden, maybe the attention of the smugglers has changed now from France, or changing, working its way around to Belgium. What about that, Labour? You know, this is the thing. I mean, overall immigration, thankfully, is down. It's just as well, it is down as well. Because, quite frankly, it is ridiculous. And it really is ridiculous. But you won't stop people coming over to our brilliant civilization here in England. You won't. In Great Britain, we are, in general, people are welcoming. In general, of course, you get good and you get bad, and you get people that are racist, and not just people and colour, but sexually, if you swing the wrong way, sexuality wise, you know, you might not like people smelling a cigarette smoke. You might not like people playing, fans like myself, big football follower, going and watching my team in London. And you do, you know, even Fulham fans aren't liked by everybody. We are by most people, but most different fans love coming to Craven Cottage. So I can always turn the person that, but the whole point is that people it's just the way certain people are. They're just anti everything. You know, I much prefer peace and love to war. And in fact, with war, I think you're far better off. War, no. Jaw should be the way. It should. So, you know, all this nonsense, all this stuff in papers about immigration, quite frankly, I'm not sure how anyone stops it. My only solution to this, all these young men, because they're all young men coming over on these dinghies, I take them off, frog march them into barracks, as this government's doing, and just put the army in there and give them some hard, old-fashioned conscription discipline and sign them up to our army, because we can't get our own people. We can't get a lot of young people into the services now. So why not? Why not just do that? Enlist them into the army. Put tags on all their legs for the first 6 months, and you don't let them out. You don't let them out for the first month. You keep them entwined in these barracks. You put a few shops in there, and you give them an allowance to spend. And then you keep them in the army. You discipline them until they realise that you're in the army now. Keep the tags on them for the first 12 months to let them know that you want to know where they are. So you need to do that. And after 12 months, they'll be embedded into the army life. And you watch the boats stop. That would soon stop the boats, because people would say, oh no, we're not going in the army. Why would we go into a foreign army? Because they come over here knowing they can get their freedom. So that's what you do, Labour. Andy Burnham, if you've got some balls, show it. Do that. Stick them in your army camps, but with a full regiment of army people in there. Tag them. Put the tag around their ankle. And make sure it's super glued together. Don't let them out for at least 2 months, and then get them disciplined. If they can't speak English, get someone in there to teach them English, but with hard work. And don't give them anything for 6 months. And after 6 months, they're still tagged. Just pay them the minimum wage, and that's it. And after 12 months, then increase their pay to regular army pay, because you can get a lot, as so much would come out of a conscription type, and that these people smugglers would disappear, because they said, well, everyone that comes over now goes straight into the British Army. We boost our army to go with the extra drones that the country's paying now, and you re-equip our forces personnel. Just like that. Not like that, just like that. That really is. That's hard hitting. But a government that did that would get my vote, and they would. Definitely. Definitely. So anyway, that's my rant on immigration. Well, Wednesday is a rant day, so I'm doing it. I am doing it. There we go. Oh, what's this? So do you feel Lukey? Now, TV punters offered $500,000, yeah, Oh, £500,000 if they beat darts ace Littler. Well, yeah, don't know. Beat him with a stick. Oh, with a dart, sorry. There we go. There we go. And then we got this Love Isle thing, whatever it is. Oh, Love Island's Maya Jama called time on the latest series last night by declaring Lorenzo Alessi and Julia Marahashi the winners. The pair will share a £50,000 prize. Whoopie-doo. There you go. And of course, they'll be made for TV fame in the reality states, I suppose. There we go. Here we go. This. Oh yeah, Holly from Holly Willoughby's new show. She was the bird that used to appear on ITV, didn't she? Yeah, that's it. This morning or something. Yeah. Well, she got another job. That's it. Then Clemmy Moody, the columnist in The Sun. Never heard of her. Loving the PM's TikToks until we have to pay the bill. Yeah. How refreshing to see Andy Burnham enter Downing Street and truly shake things up. Yeah, well, whatever. Same old nonsense, though, in my opinion. And Rainbow's lovable loudmouth, Zippy. Look at this. Bungle leads tribute to puppet operators Ronnie. R.I.P. Zippy. Yeah, there we go. I'm sure you people with children watching this will resonate with something like that, I suppose. But puppeteer Ronnie Ledrew had delighted generations of children and was one of the country's most celebrated behind-the-scenes performers. Spent almost 20 years operating the loudmouth creature on the ITV Kids show, and later voiced the puppet in a revival. Zippy's wisecracks and zip mouth made him one of Britain's best loved TV characters. Oh, now there is actually. So he's a bit of a superstar, our Rainbow's Zippy. So well done, Zippy. Thank you for all your fine work keeping the nation's children entertained for 20 years. I wonder if he got a gold watch for that or anything. Anyway, his operator is now dead. So whether Zippy will ever make a comeback with a new operator, maybe that should be the question of the day. What do you think? Any ideas? Anybody? Okay, well, that is, let us know what your thoughts are on Zippy, resting in peace. There we go, Monsters Cushy Life. Oh yeah, West Prison is a bed of roses. Yeah, Rose West is in a cushy prison with plush-looking cells and well-maintained gardens. Blimey, it sounds like a retirement living house. It really does. Yeah, where we are here in the wonderful county town of Lewis. Now we come to the bazaar. Now, the bazaar, which started originally back in the heyday of when Piers Morgan he actually started the bazaar column in a roundabout way. And talking of which, it's about pop music, about showbiz, and if ever you read it in The Sun, Kojo ladies rule here. Oh, Cardi bears it all. Cardi B is about to let everyone in on a story of a roller coaster life, including working as a thieving stripper. Oh, thieving stripper. Now, where would you put the booty you nick? You haven't got any pockets, have you? Especially if you're in the nude. I mean, still, I don't know, maybe in her panties or something. But But talking of general pop music, I'm doing a pilot show. I'm looking for a presenter to do a show about general music, new releases, bands touring, just up-to-date pop music. Any old pop stars pass away onto the other side, to do it in a magazine format on this channel. So keep an eye open for that. That's something that I'm working on behind the scenes myself, and I'm hoping to get a local DJ. I could do it myself, but I've a feeling you're probably seeing more than enough of myself on here. And while we're on about what's happening on here, I hope you're all enjoying the Sign of a Saint show on Tuesday, which is led in by the principal of the station and a mentor of mine, Keith Hayes, on a Tuesday. And normally V does a show about 40 to 60 minutes long. So I hope if you're watching that, you're enjoying it. And of course, myself and Keith work together on a Monday, dishing out good news. So I hope you're all enjoying that. Right then, so that's nothing else here. I mean, what else is there? Jorrell banking closure threat. Oh yeah, that's the Space Observatory is set to shut down after government pulled funding. Yeah, the largest, UK's largest space observatory is set to be shut down after the government pulled funding. Scientific research on Jorrell Bank could cease on April the 1st, 2028. So there'll be no one keeping an eye on what goes on outside of this wonderful planet in and around the solar system. So there'll be no ground control to Major Tom. There won't be. So after 28, we cease to be watching our skies to see who's watching us, watching you. There we go, Jorrell Bank. It's typical in the sun. It takes the back page up, really, which is amazing. There we go. And 40 years since Susie Lampler vanished in her sisters are looking back. Now, Susie was an estate agent in a West London estate agency. And disappearance round the corner from Craven Cottage, the hallowed turf of Fulham FC, happened around there 40 years ago. And this is one of those cases that's baffled the police, also baffled agencies that look for lost souls, like the Sally Army did at one stage, and still never found her. Not a body or anything. A vital work in her name. Well, the tragedy inspired Susie's parents, Diana and Paul, to launch the Susie Lampler Trust in 1986 to raise awareness of personal safety and violence against women and girls. And it has supported more than 1,000 survivors and trained more than 1 million people in recognising stalking and harassment, which is now called a criminal offence. A new campaign, 40 years should have been enough, is being launched by the Trust to coincide with today's anniversary of Susie's kidnap. 40 years on, we remember the person at the heart of our work and reflect on the change of what has happened in her name. Now, talking of which, last year Excuse me a second. Last year, I don't know where it is. Here we go. I saw this advertised. Here we go. There we go. I saw this advertised. It's a little device that shoots an electric shock. It's got a red button right there on it. And you flick the red button down and a light comes on to show it's charged. And then you send that, and it sends an electric shock to anyone that's threatening you with a knife. So, and that sends an electric shock, which gives the person holding a knife. So if you travel alone, a lot like I do when coming back from football matches late at night and stuff, take this with me, put it in my pocket, and searches now, they're quite intrusive searches at Fulham. You know, if it was a woman, I wouldn't mind. But it's generally beefy men. And stick this in my pocket, off. And then coming back, there you go, and it gives a nasty shock to anyone that tries to attack me, because it does give them a volt. I've not had any option, I've not been, you know, I've not used it on anybody, but no one ever has really walked up to me and tried to attack me, to be honest with you, thankfully. And long, touch wood, long may it continue. So that's something that really, and you know what, people like that work on their own, go to, especially estate agents, female estate agents, you think they'd have something like that, or some pepper spray or something. It should be part of everyone, male or female, in my opinion, that actually works out in an environment where you're meeting people that you don't know on your own. You should have some form, and a lot of these pepper sprays now, they are legal. You can find them on the likes of Amazon, eBay, generally advertised online. So if you're out there working alone in a situation where you're meeting strangers, it's only right to have some form of protection, either that or a personal alarm. So I would, especially females. A lady friend of mine got attacked in the shop where she worked in London early on this year. She's a shop assistant at Sport Direct, and she got attacked, and she was off, and she, you know, badly hurt, so much so, and I offered to get her some stuff, and she turned me down. And unfortunately, we fell out, and I don't know if she did anything about getting some personal protection stuff. And in a retail setting, really, shops in London, they should give all their staff some form of pepper spray. Retailers in London, busy cities, because you've got gangs of shoplifters, and let's be honest, security guards are too bob, and they're often just stand there and watch anyway. So for me, again, this is another rant to you retailers. Protect your staff. Give them a small pepper spray each. They're legal, so do it. Again, you know, and people that work in retail, you know, everyone cares about themselves. So why not go to your bosses and demand that they supply you with some legal pepper spray? That's the best thing for you, from my point of view. Anyway, that's the, just move on. What's that? Oh yeah, cat has a diet of Buxton water and salmon. Blimey, that's better than some of my neighbours eat. To be honest, it really is. Really is. Cats Fine Lives. Moggy 31, a 31-year-old cat, has a diet of Buxton water and salmon. That's not bad, you know. If that was best bitter and salmon, that'd be even better. It really would. And the other thing is Bill Oddie, found fame as one of the three of Bill Oddie, Tim Brooke Taylor, and another chap. The Goodies on TV, brilliant. And what was their big hit? The Goodies. Back then, they had a big hit. Any idea? It's do the funky chicken. There we go. In fact, I'm surprised that someone like Kentucky haven't sort of caught on to that, actually, because that'd probably be a good advert for them. But the funky chicken by the Goodies. Brilliant show. Brilliant show. And that really is about the paper review, to be honest. Yeah, so don't forget Glorious Goodwood on. Glorious Goodwood on all week. So, and coming up to a crescendo on Saturday, I think. So there we go. As I say, there's still no. Let me just check my phone. See if anyone bothered calling me this morning from the council. Any councillors? Couple of football results actually from last night. Stoke City of the Championship beat Everton of the Premiership 1-0 last night. Of course, Al Halley won, Fulham won. I watched that last night. First real friendly under Alvaro Arbola. Very, very good performance. I watched it on a live stream. Superb. Superb. And of course, Fulham graduate, Academy graduate, Ryan Sessegnon scored. Fantastic. A goal set up by the Nigerian maestro, Alex Iwobi. Beautiful slip through ball into the box, and there was Ryan just to slowed it down and hammered it in the bottom corner of the net. And overall, the Arbola way is settling into Fulham after 10 days or so back. So I'm really looking forward to the season. I've been on a lot of Fulham fan sites, and they're full of woe. How we all going to get relegated, and I had a debate online yesterday with a keyboard warrior who actually said to me that he thought we were done. But me, every start of every football season is a new adventure. And this year's a double new adventure because we've got a new manager. Well, head coach, they call him now. But you know what I mean. And we are going to fly under a bowler. You heard it here first. We kick off the course in 3 weeks on a Monday night with a Southwest derby against our tenants in the Fulham area, Chelsea. And they are our tenants, by the way. As Fulham, London's oldest club, no matter what Palace fans say, Fulham is the oldest club in London. So anyway, that's that. Cricket-wise, Sussex have made a crap start against, well, we've lost every game. We lost to the Yorkies on Sunday. And quite frankly, it was an abject batting performance. In fact, you know, it was just no one is hanging about to make a big score. At least in the 2020s, we recovered a bit of composure with the bat because we had our overseas signing making the big runs. Hughes from Australia. Brilliant. But cricket-wise, it seems that Sussex, we now have a new coach. We have a new head coach now for next season. The I believe is the Kent guy from up the road, the Garden of England. Plus, of course, Farby's staying on, if only in a part-time role, which is a shame because I love Farby at Sussex, I really do. And that about wraps this up for today. So thank you very much for everyone watching. The Wednesday debate will be back next week. And if no politicians choose to come on, I'll be naming and shaming every single one of the town councillors. I sorted the list out. I'm going to give them one more. I'm going to give them another 4 or 5 days to come back and have the decency to call me at least. So I will be naming and shaming all those town councillors that the good people of Lewis voted for. And this in a week when Andy Burnham has spouted that he wants to bring in a law and make sure everyone votes. And I would say to Andy Burnham, that's a great in principle, as long as you tell the people that are elected, no matter what colour of their political party, to answer their constituents' requests. At Mirador, we are a small station, but we have a big reach. Not just in Sussex, but New York, all over the world. So you can run, but you can't hide, town councillors. And that wraps up the morning. So thank you very much for watching. And don't forget, we have the barristers on with Keith, I think tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that in the morning around 8 o'clock. Thanks again. See ya.
Thank you.